Welcome to A Call for Judgment, everybody. Today's show, I want to talk about something I meant to talk about a little while ago, but I got kind of pushed out of the way where I wasn't able to, and I had to wait it out. But you all remember the line, right? You know, the line in Saudi Arabia that everybody says isn't being built, even though it is. I've called it out many times. People in the comment section are like, this is just a notion. It's an idea. No, it's really being built. Well, it's way worse than you actually think. Why is it way worse? Because it's not just this smart prison. This is actually the blueprint for the smart city. So we've all heard about the smart cities. I've exposed it many times. We've called them 15-minute cities. Well, this is even worse because this isn't a 15-minute city. This is literally an imprisonment state or an imprisonment region where you're locked in and trapped in a region. Now they'll tell you there's all these great things and make it sound like it's a resort. Why? Because they know that the people are so stupid in today's society. I mean, they're literally trying to figure out if men could have babies, that they go, we could just tell them whatever. We'll tell them it's like going to Maui for a week, and then they'll just be stuck in here, and we'll be like, yeah, don't say anything. Why don't you go to the zoo? We'll have a little zoo over there for them. They can get out of their prison for a few hours. Oh, you don't get a car, because carbon emissions. We have to focus on the planet. Don't think for 1 second you're actually trapped in here. I'm going to play the video. This is the line, which is brought to you by Neom. This is absolutely frightening. And then we'll go through the stuff that they're talking about doing in here with education. This is all just brainwashing. You're going to be eating bugs in these cities. They're literally telling you this stuff. But they obviously market it where the people are going to be like, wow, I'm going to be on an exotic vacation in the desert, and I can go swimming with dolphins. Oh, yeah, it sounds great. Just, the same, you might as well just have handcuffs on. The only difference is you get a little bit more sunlight than you would in jail. Actually, probably the same, because you're only going to be allowed out for an hour a day because your carbon emissions. But look at this video and notice at the end how they mentioned, you have to watch the video through, okay? At the end, they mention how great it is, and they hold up, they just literally show you the 666 hand sign. I mean, you can't make it up. Take a look.
What is Neom? This is Neom, or here, to be more precise, in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. But Neom is more than a place. It's a home for people who dream big. Bigger than that. That's more like it. It'll be a hub for innovation, an entirely new model for sustainable living. The vision for a new future. In fact, that's how it got its name. But what will be there? There's Oxagon, a thriving city at the crossroads of the world, where advanced manufacturing will enable industries of the future. Trojana, a year-round mountain destination. And just remember to pack your skis when you visit. Or if skiing's not your thing, there's always Sindala, one of Neom's many beautiful islands, perfect for some R&R. And Align, a 500-meter high, 200-meter wide, 170-kilometer long city in the shape of, a line. No roads, cars, or emissions. And everything its 9 million residents could ever need within a 5-minute walk. But best of all, the entire region will offer unparalleled access to nature and will be powered by clean energy. All within easy reach of the rest of the world. I know what you're thinking. Why does the world need Neom?
That's a good question.
The world needs Neom because the world needs change. That's what we mean when we say
Made to change.
Neom represents a global opportunity for one, changing how the world does business by making the region a special economic zone, easing the way for entrepreneurs to blaze their trail. Two, changing the way we live our lives with preventative healthcare and the highest standards of livability. Sounds nice, right? And three, changing how we look after nature and our planet. Because without this, what use are 1 and 2? But how will Neom achieve these aims, you may ask? Within Neom are 14 sectors, spearheaded by the world's best talent. Each sector has been designed to advance technology and push the very limits of human knowledge. Imagine Neom as a prototype for a better future, a future for all. One being built to last. Sound good? Great. So when the world asks, what is Neom? You'll know to answer that Neom's a place that'll change the way we live on this planet. Simple, really.
So this is what hell on earth looks like to me. And I would rather be I would rather be long dead than be in a place like this. But you saw at the end, right, how they held up the 666. And of course, they use all these triggers like nature. Of course, remember on the Georgia Guidestones, we were told about how we have to always care about nature, always be good to nature, right? Because they're Wiccans, they're witchcraft, they're Satanists, I should say, right? Witches, whatever you want to call them. That's what these people are. And now they're enslaving our society through mind control. So they tell you that this whole region is about energy, right? It's about conserving energy. And it's about limiting mobility. Do people realize when they say limiting mobility that they mean enslavement? Okay? I get it. Like, I see that there's more and more stories out there about reckless, crazy drivers. And we know that these young kids are absolutely atrocious drivers, which is one of the reasons we have 75,000 versions of Fast and Furious out there, right? That's like little mind control seats on how to drive like a complete moron and spin your car out like a loser and all this stuff that they promote and glorify. And then we see people like throwing rocks at people's cars, these horrible stories that continue to come out. This is what they want. They want you to feel scared to drive. And a lot of the reason is that not just because these kids see all that stuff and dumb down. We know that certain people who took something are extremely reckless and dangerous on the road. I think that's pretty clear. And if you don't believe it, well, think again. Because when that 5G hits, boom. I mean, you know, and these people are completely, just completely warped. So you even see people driving around with masks on, for crying out loud. So they're going to continue to push that type of mind control where they're going to make people afraid to drive because, remember, they're going to take your cars away and they're going to have driverless cars and tell you it's safe and all this stuff. But in these types of regions, which I believe they're going to be creating all around the world, and well, we all know this is what they're doing. They would tell you in this video by 2030, because this is a part of Agenda 2030. I believe in America, what's going to happen is they're going to divide, like I've been saying for a while, blue and red states, right? Because they know they're going to force people out by banning gas stoves and banning gas cars, that people who are conservative are not going to go along with it. So they're going to force them into regions like Florida, where I believe are just going to be honeypots, where they're going to drill them with HARP, all sorts of stuff, droughts, right, where they're not able to farm on their own, and eventually just try to force them into these things willingly, right? But everybody else who's a liberal, they're going to love this stuff, hooked up to technology, right? Oh, this is great for society. They don't even realize when you watch that, they're literally telling you that you're going to become an employee of the New World Order. You're going to live in these cities and you're going to work for them. Oh, and we're going to create jobs. I mean, keep in mind that most of the liberals, not all of them, but the majority of the young ones out there don't want to work. They have no ambition to ever work, and they think everything should be handed to them, and they're victims all the time. So we'll see how that works. I guess they're just going to go taser them and say, hey, okay, you're going to do this now. You're going to do that now. But you see how corporations like Google and all these Silicon Valley companies operate, like Twitter, the stuff that they released and showed of how employees just do nothing all day. That's probably what's going to happen here. They're just going to tell them that they're working and providing for society while feeding them cockroaches and worms, and they're going to go, yummy. Can I dip it in ketchup? Oh, we don't have ketchup. No, what do you have? Oh, we have cat urine. Oh, okay, I'll take that. Whatever you say, communist media, and they'll go along with it. So some of the bullet points that they popped up were energy, water, mobility, which you'll have none. The water obviously will be completely fluoridated. I think it's bad now, just imagine. Technology and digital, which you'll be hooked up to. Food, which will be insects. Manufacturing, what will be manufactured is you through, then the next thing they say is media, which is completely controlled one state, like Chinese, Korea media. And of course, in entertainment and culture. Because remember in like 1984, they give you a little bit. Like they'll give you like, oh, you get an hour a week, you get to watch something, or you get an hour a week where you get to talk to one another and interact. And you won't be giving out carbon emissions. And oh, yes, I can't wait for my next 1 hour next week where I can go talk to people. And then as it just continues on, people just become more and more, they start realizing what's actually going on, and it's too late because they're trapped, because there's no mobility. You're in the middle of the desert. Where are you going? You don't think there's armed guards outside of these? What do you think? You could just walk out of the mountain region and, head over to Switzerland or somewhere? I mean, I don't think so. Once you're in, you're in, right? They're like, oh, tourism. Oh, what are you going to let grandma come visit for, 12 hours one day? Because of the carbon emissions, you got to limit it, right? So then you go, oh, the design and destruction. And that's another construction. It is destruction. And you see that they're already building this. The line is a literal prison. A literal prison. And inside of this prison, you're going to feel free. They're going to feel free, but you can't go anywhere. And there's so many movies with predictive programming, a little rusty, about this that I was going to cover. I have to go through my list of stuff that I had planned to do, but I'll cover it soon. I'll find it. Where they do this, there's just literally the story is they're in here and they're like imagining what's on the outside. And they can't get to the outside because they're stuck inside of this. But again, by creating all the chaos that they create, by constantly telling everybody the world is racist, the world is sexist, everybody's horrible, this makes people want to go into this because they pretend like it's a utopia, right? You ever seen Stepford Wives or heard of Stepford Wives, the mindset of the Stepford wife, right? Living in oblivia. How many things have we seen that I've covered over the years with predictive programming with oblivia, right? Katy Perry, etc. Oblivion, because they're literally not thinking. They don't realize what's happening. And that's what's going on around us. So they put this nice music behind it. They put together a propaganda piece. They empower you to make you feel like you're doing something to contribute to society by protecting nature, even though the entire climate change thing has been made up for such a long time that at one point it was called global cooling, and they switched it to global warming. And as always with the government, they don't have to be held accountable or answer any questions about it because the media will never bring it up. So thus, society will never question it, and then all society does is believe everything the media says because they've already been brainwashed into thinking everything that we say is some type of conspiracy theory, when in reality, everything that's just gone on and is going on is things that I've called out and others have called out years in advance. And you think people go, oh, I remember that guy was talking about it, how they were going to try to get this technology in people's bodies. Oh, I remember that guy was saying that they were normalizing this stuff with kids by putting all these kids in adult situations in TV shows like Celebrity Dancing and Celebrity Kid Cooks and kids cooking for Gordon Ramsay. Oh, that wasn't predictable. Or Jimmy Kimmel having kids, have their own bachelor show, 5-year-olds sexualizing. So these things have all been out there. And again, people don't see it because the mainstream media and obviously YouTube and all these places block it. They prevent it, which should make people go, why are they preventing these people if they're crazy from saying this stuff? Who cares? Oh, well, it's dangerous. Oh, it's dangerous. And me calling out what this is, this prison that's being funded by our tax money, because you don't think the Saudis are the only one funding this. The Democrats are funding this. We're funding this. All the money you think is getting laundered in Ukraine, it's getting laundered all over for these. These are going to be going on everywhere. And they're going to go, it's utopia. And these people are going to go, oh, thank goodness, the world is so harsh and so horrible. And they're not going to realize how good they had it. In America, people don't realize how good they have it. You know, these miserable, oh, I'm the victim, I'm a victim. They don't realize they're fluoridated. They're getting drilled with radiation. They're depressed because the television's making them depressed. Social media is making them depressed. They're depressed because people are telling them they're depressed on television. And they don't realize how good they actually have it. And it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. So these things are going to be popping up. This is NEOM. This is the line. It's the same exact thing. I mean, it couldn't be more frightening. But again, doesn't it look like some type of resort in like the Rio Grande? They're like, you could swim and you don't need no ability. We don't need cars because they're bad for you. And people are just like, that sounds great. Until they realize, wait a minute. No cars. How are we going to get out of here? Are there planes? Oh, there's no planes. So wait, are we supposed to walk across this desert region? Yeah. Good luck, because when you get to the end, there's going to be a wall of military, or probably a wall like the wall supposedly in Mexico, right? Just there'll be a wall of military armed guards. And you'll say, wait a minute, where are guns? Oh, wait, we gave those up too. So now we're in prison to these people that we thought cared about us, didn't realize that that's part of the Communist Manifesto, is that they'll turn their back on you the second you let their system be in place, which is exactly what's going to happen to the LGB and all of them. And it's going to be too late. Those people are going to lose their minds when they realize what's happened. But the rest of us, we already know what's happening. All you can do is be prepared and call it out and try to wake people up and fight back against it. I thank everyone for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families.